Hi, this is Eddie from EddieForLife, the channel that's here to bring you value. And today I'm going to be talking about depression. That's a subject which has touched many people over this past year in 2020. And most people have been smacked straight in the face from COVID-19. And that's led to a larger amount of people that have to deal with depression and anxiety than ever before. So I'm going to be sharing with you my own personal journey over the years, how I've dealt with depression, and what to do about it. So listen up. Okay, so I'm going to be talking today about depression. And that's something with so many people feeling around the world coming out of 2020 after COVID-19 kicked us in the teeth. However, I want to talk about depression in a broader view, and I want to give a couple of ways how to deal with depression. And the first thing is acknowledging depression. You have to acknowledge it. I remember in my own life, and this is more than 20 years ago, everything was looking great on one hand, financially, and I don't want to even go into that. But only after it hit me really hard did I realize then that I was depressed for quite a few months. And I think that the most important thing in dealing with depression is acknowledging it. You have to acknowledge it. So, after you acknowledge the fact that you are suffering from some sort of depression, the next thing that I have to tell you, after acknowledging it, is ask for help. Asking for help from people around you, and I'm not talking about walking into a psychiatrist, into a doctor or psychiatrist's office and asking for a drug, asking for a pill. That's not what I call help. Those are last resorts. I'm talking about people around you, people close to you, people who you think you can trust. Telling them, hey, I'm going through a tough period lately, and I could use some support. Asking them for support in small ways. Recognizing and acknowledging the fact that you're battling with depression, and then asking the peer group, the people around you, asking for their support in small ways. That's the next thing. The third thing, and I cannot stress this enough, is to do physical activity. I know this sounds counterintuitive, because when you're feeling low, when you're feeling depressed, the last thing you want to go and do is some sort of weightlifting or running or any physical activity. I know. Been there, done it. However, you have to fight this. Otherwise, it's going to take over you completely. You have to get up, and that's where maybe support from somebody in your peer group, somebody you can trust, that's where support comes in. To go and do that physical activity. Getting on the phone, saying, hey Dave, or hey Mary, I would love if you could help me out this week and get me to go running with you. Or if I could be your teammate in playing football or basketball or baseball or any sports that gets you sweating. Even when you don't, or especially when you don't want to. That's number 3. Physical activity. But really, working up a sweat to get those endorphins going, get the dopamine levels up, and doing it naturally. That was number 3. Number 4. And this is something which most people do not understand. Rolling with the punches and rolling out of them. Let me explain. You see, when a depression hits you, it's okay, you're going to recognize it, you can ask for support, You're going to do sport or physical activity, but also here I'm talking about in the mind. You have to understand that depression is something bigger than you. However, you can fight it, and the most important thing is to fight it in the correct way. When you see a motorcycle rider or in a race, and they're riding at something like 150 miles an hour around the track, or 250 kilometers an hour, or whatever, and they take a fall, hardly any of them get hurt. They roll out of the fall. They become like a rag doll. I'm a martial arts instructor, and over the years I teach people, and I've taught, I've learned myself how to take a really bad fall in judo or in aikido or in jiu-jitsu. The thing is that you have to let yourself go loose and roll out of it. Roll out of it. Go loose. Same thing when you take, in boxing, when you take a punch to the head. Now, when you take a punch to the head, you go back a bit. In other words, you roll with the punch and then you come back. Same thing with depression. You have to be a bit more gentle with yourself and to realize that you don't fight it like this. You fight it by deflection and rolling out of it. You do things when you feel it's really hard. You do things which are a bit more gentle for yourself. Immersing yourself in water. And I'm not talking about just taking a shower. I'm talking about sitting in a bathtub full of water sometimes, sitting in a pool, sitting in a hot tub. Water is very, very important. So, those are 4 tips. And now I want to talk to you about the 5th tip, which in my eyes is maybe the most important mentally. We get depressed either by organic reasons, in other words, if we suffer from some sort of autoimmune disease, which can result in us feeling depressed as a side effect, like shingles or herpes. We get depressed because of psychological reasons. We're going through a bad time. Maybe business is bad. COVID-19 smacked us across the face. We don't have a job. Stuff like that. In those times, the most important thing is when you get up in the morning. Actually, this is 2 tips together. The most important thing is to remember who you are. Remember what you have accomplished in life. Remember the things which you've overcome. Remember the things which make you who you are. And everybody has that. And I'm going to let you in on a secret. I've had some rough times in my life. I'll go into that maybe in another video, because I think sometimes it's important for people to know that other people go through shit also. And there's nobody to look up to. People sometimes hear my own personal stories and they're amazed, but I don't want to talk about that right now. But one of the techniques, and this is a really strong technique for me, is to remember what I've done. And one of the things in my darkest hours sometimes, which is when it's really tough for me, I remember, and I say to myself, Eddie, you're a fucking black belt in Dennis survival jiu-jitsu, one of the most extreme combat-oriented self-defense martial arts. And you earned it. And I'm not trying here to promote our style at all. And I'm not trying to promote myself. But when I think of that and I remember my test for Shodan, my 1st degree black belt, in which I got the shit kicked out of me, mentally, physically, and until you don't go through it, until you're not knocked down 10 million times, they're not going to stop. Test is the ranking test is going to go on. But when I remember that, and I hold myself up straight, and I say, Eddie, you're a fucking black belt. Nothing can break you after that. And that gives me my inner strength. I stand up straight and I look that depression in the eyes and I say, fuck you. I'm gonna fight, and there's nothing you can do to get me down. And I mean it. And that's the mental side. And I'll go into that in another video. I don't want to go into this too much now. And one last little tip. When you're feeling really down one day, go wash your face, brush your teeth, and then look in the mirror. And I'm not kidding now. I am not kidding, because this works. Force yourself to smile like this. Even when you feel like breaking the fucking mirror. You look at that mirror and you force yourself to smile for at least 30 seconds or more. Like that. And you will feel better. Because the actual smile triggers something in our neurosystem, which affects whatever's going on there, and it does make us feel better. And then you say to yourself, hey, you're amazing. Even if you don't mean it, you're amazing. You say to yourself in the mirror. So, those are a couple of tips that I just wanted to share with you. And I'm going to do another video on depression and some more tips from my own journey and my own life. If you found value in this, I'd love for you to give this, maybe subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and if you want to be notified other videos come out, hit the bell. And I'm here to serve you and to give you value. And I mean it. I'm not promoting anything. I'm 62 years old. My mission is to make a difference. Maybe even a small difference, even if it's just 1 or 2 people watching this video, or maybe 100,000 who can get help. Because I know I've been helped in my life. So, thank you for watching. And I would love, by the way, I would love to hear your comments down below, because this is the fuel that gets me going. When people tell me what they need, what kind of topics, what they want to hear more of. God bless you. Stay safe and be strong in every situation.